Hello everyone, Turtlelags here, bringing you another AFK journey video. Today I want to talk about Mikola's viability in the Dream Realm. Today we have the Skyclops, and because it is Mikola's official release today for the global server, so Skyclops is the first Dream Realm boss that we get to try her out in. And as it turns out, she is best in slot for this boss, taking the place of Scarlita. And I think the reason why Mikola so decisively replaces Scarlita is because Mikola has the ability to boost the haste of your party by 30, as well as increase the attack percent of your party members by up to 20%, depending on whether or not you have Mikola's arena lit up or not. And of course, to light up Mikola's arena, you do need more allies in this arena compared to the opponent. Now, Skyclops does have summons. However, because of the heroes that we have, such as the double Forestos taking up 2 slots, as well as Shakir, being in the front, as well as Mikola going to the front as well. So we end up having at least 4 heroes, if not 5, if we have Lily May in there, lighting up the arena. So, and then the reason why Shakir is in this team is because with his Lupine aura, he is capable of actually doing some damage reduction to improve the survivability of your team, as well as improve the haste as well. And then of course we have our damage dealer Lily May. Now we have the main Foresto providing an energy generation buff on Mikola. That way she can ult more reliably, and her ult is what allows her to provide the haste buff, the ranged defense buff, as well as provide a healing wave to supplement Smokey's healing. And of course, Smokey is one of the best offensive healers when it comes to the Dream Realm, because anyone in his yellow fog will be able to have an attack buff. And of course, we're going to run the evocation spell for extra damage, as well as some defensive capabilities. So let me go ahead and do the showcase here. So as you can see here, the arena is lit up because we have more allies in the field than the opponent. And notice how quickly we're taking down the summons. This team is very synergistic because we have a bunch of offensive buffs from Shakir, from Smokey, from Mikola, and heck, even Foresto indirectly, because he is providing energy generation boost for Mikola. As you can see here, we still have more than 10 seconds left, and we're approaching the 50 bill mark. Okay, so 51 bill. And if we look at the damage calculations here, you see that our Lily May is doing 30 bill damage, but our Foresto and Smokey are also doing quite a bit of damage themselves. And Mikola actually contributes quite a bit of healing for our party, and this is really good because between Mikola and Smokey, it makes it so that your team survives until the very end. And Shakir doesn't do as much damage, but with his Lupine aura, he does improve the damage output as well as the damage reduction of your party. One thing to note here is that I was thinking, and I think a lot of content creators were thinking too, that Mikola's damage output would be a bit more. I mean, her damage output is almost half of Shakir, which is actually quite significant, but even so, it pales in comparison with the other 3 heroes, Smokey, Lily May, and Foresto. Now, I'm going to do this one more time. And I just want to show you real quick, it doesn't appear to matter whether you have an EX5 Mikola. As you can see, my guildmate, he scored higher than me, but he only has an EX5 Mikola. Whether you have an EX5 Mikola, EX15, or EX10, I think at the end of the day, it's more how invested your Lily May is, as well as good RNG with the lucky crits and stuff. So let's go ahead and actually try this one more time. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. You probably noticed before that my Mikola was in the center here with my Frusta like this, but actually I'm going to go ahead and go with what the other district member has cooked up to see if there's any improvement there. And actually, I was watching Zevo's video, and apparently his district came up with another formation, so I'll see if I can find it real quick while this battle is going. I probably should have prepped this beforehand, but it's fine. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Sorry. I do want to try this team out. Oh, okay, so it's actually not too different from what we had before. Okay, so as you can see, RNG does matter quite a bit. Here are Lily May's score 31.5 bill, so that's a bit higher. Okay, let me go ahead and try Zebo's offensive positioning. So in this case, what he did, okay, this is actually not too different from what I had in mind. So I think it's almost exactly the same. And the way Zevo explained was that by positioning it this way, it gives Mikola clearance to go to the right. And we did see Mikola run and have a clear path on the right-hand side. And as we see here, it seems like all our heroes except Smokey are inside the arena, so they are getting the attack buff from Mikola. The most important thing is that Lily May has the buff because she's the highest damage dealer. And part of the reason why there's so much RNG for this boss in particular is because you don't actually do a whole lot of damage against Skyclops until the ads are taken down. So our ability to actually take down the ads will be huge, and we didn't clear it in time for that next. Okay, so here we scored a little bit less on Lily May, but Foresto did do more damage there. So I could keep going, but you kind of get the point. Now, for the other Dream Realm bosses, if we take a look at the next one here, King Croaker. So this is the lineup that we are using right now. I kind of wonder if Mikola is able to have synergy with Lily May, because I know with the thing about this next boss, King Croaker, is that we do need Thorn to eat the multiple one-hit KOs from King Croaker, and what's his face, Ludovic and Talene are pretty much two peas in a pod. There are times when you can actually run Talene without Ludovic, but because Ludovic is such a bursty healer, so and I don't think Mikola heals as aggressively as Ludovic does. Well, actually, maybe we'll try it tomorrow, because Ludovic does have half as much healing as Smokey, kind of like with today's boss. So if we are able to swap Ludovic with Mikola, that would actually be pretty cool. Although that would suck for Ludovic Havers. Then for Necro Dragon, this will be interesting because I think, well, yeah, I actually am not really sure. I mean, she could take the place of Scarlita again. I mean, the reason why she took the place of Scarlita this time around was because the reason you even ran Scarlita to begin with was because of her season skill, being able to increase haste by 10 and damage dealt by 15%. But when you are increasing haste by 30 and attack by 20%, along with some more defensive capabilities, and doing it almost with 100% uptime, because mind you, the timing in which you get the haste boost is 10 seconds into the battle, and the damage boost is 40 seconds into the battle. So you don't get all those nice benefits for the full duration of the fight, but with Mikola you almost do. So Necro Dragon, she could end up replacing Scarlita, and then for Snow Stomper, yeah, she could replace Scarlita there. And then for Lone Gaze, I kind of wonder if every single fight where Scarlita's there, if Mikola will end up being there as well. This could be good or bad news, depending on which camp you are in, because there are some people who have been free to play, well, since the beginning of the game's release, and they have invested in Rainier, and then now they're beginning to invest in Scarlita. So for Scarlita to be replaced in Dream Realm, it kind of sucks. But the nice thing is that Scarlita is pretty much mandatory in Arena and Supreme Arena if you want to compete at a very high level. So Scarlita will still have her viability. Not to mention, actually, once the season is over, Scarlita's season skill is going to disappear anyway. So I think one way or the other, Mikola will end up being best in slot for a lot of these Dream Realm bosses, and we're just seeing it ahead of time. And it's actually kind of reassuring to know that the way to get a high Dream Realm score is not necessarily with a season skill, but rather based on the hero's default kit. I think that's better, because if you imagine, like, say, Scarlita in this case, or Mikola, you relied on their season skill in order to be viable on a Dream Realm, I mean, that's not really good long term, right? That's not something that would make you want to fully invest in a hero. So, and then finally with the Alpha Bear, I can see this will be interesting, because you really need Coco in this fight, but we could see a scenario where swapping Ludovic with Mikola might boost the overall damage output of your heroes. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like this. Does Mikola's buff compensate for the loss of damage that you lose from swapping Ludovic out? Because as you can see here, Ludovic actually contributes quite a bit of damage. So I'm really curious if Ludovic ends up being replaced. Now, what could also happen is that Coco gets replaced by Mikola. That'll be interesting to see, because with Alpha Bear reduces your healing by 85%. So the shielding from Coco, it kind of bypasses that, because Coco's shielding is based off of how much damage the Alpha Bear is doing to you, not necessarily what your healing multipliers are. So anyways, those are my thoughts. One thing is clear, though, is that it doesn't appear that Mikola is going to be replacing Smokey, as we saw with today's Dream Realm boss. With today's Dream Realm boss, you end up replacing Scarlita, and Smokey is still a very integral part of this team. The thing about Smokey is that Smokey's heals are stronger than Mikola's, as you can see here. As a matter of fact, in Zero's run, Zero's Smokey actually healed almost 3 times that of Mikola. So Mikola is kind of like Rowan in the sense that you're running her more for her offensive utility, and she's more of a secondary healer unless you have a very unique team set up. So anyways, I hope this was informative. Do let me know in the comment section below what you think about Mikola's overall viability across all 6 Dream Realm bosses. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.